Very important. And one time, this is a true story too. Somebody came to the Chinmayananji and said, "Oh, how do I fix my kids and all they're doing?" He said, "No, go home and fix yourself." He's saying, "You don't need to fix your kids at all. You behave good and they will follow you. Don't come and tell me that I told my kids. Are you doing the same thing?"
Yeah.
If you want your kids to be religious, you have to become religious first.
ये द्रौपदी का केस देख लो ना. The whole, all the relatives were there. No one, came to her. So she only went to God.
That's very symbolic that you may think that worldly people will help you.
Yeah, that is there. But you can be in a chore situation. You could be in any situation.
Yeah.
But if you keep your mind strongly to God,
yes, I agree with
then
you.
help will come in whatever way,
Yeah. But utna faith
But
agar
they
like
were so what you call.
you can't be fearful at that time.
They
You
had
have
no
to be
courage.
fearless.
They had no courage. They couldn't step out and help her.
That's why.
No, it's a symbolic thing.
It's symbolic because दुनिया ऐसी ही है.
दुनिया में मिलने वाला ऊपर से ही हेल्प मिलती है. That's the symbolism behind it. Because के 5 पति जो थे ना, वो हर एक चीज में एकदम हाईएस्ट थे और उसको एक नहीं थे 5 थे. अपने को तो सब एक ही होता है. Maybe he's good in something, but these guys were good in each thing. चटनी बना सकते थे सबकी मिलके. And उससे ज्यादा खराब व्यवहार हुआ भीष्म पितामह और वो चुप रहे.
नहीं, ये लोग तो ethically behave कर रहे थे because they had lost her in war.
हाँ?
See,
No,
it does not matter.
No, they were ethically behaving because they had lost. जो भी तुम lose करोगे तुमको देनी ही पड़ेगी ना.
what
कैसे कर सकते हैं वो लोग?
Krishna Bhagwan
They
said
lost
it.
in gambling.
Gambling was wrong, but when you have lost it in gambling, they can't fight back for that thing.
No, but if a woman's honor is at stake, you cannot have your own ego.
No,
That's
no,
what
no.
it is.
It was not ego because it was their choice. They put her there.
Yeah.
Does not matter. That's not what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, and that's why the Mahabharat का युद्ध हुआ. Because the society इतनी जकड़ गई थी वो गलत राहों में. And if you guys ever get a chance, watch the second Mahabharat because उसमें काफी discussion हुआ है इस बात पे. Clarity लाई गई है कि भाई कि because उन्होंने क्या किया कि बाद में ना like after they got killed or right before they got killed like Bhishma Pitama and all, they had a conversation with Krishna and they asked him, what did I do wrong?
Yeah,
that was the main thing Krishna said. That's why Krishna broke the promise. Do you remember that उन्होंने बताया मैं शस्त्र नहीं उठाऊंगा और फिर उन्होंने शस्त्र उठा लिया था because he said you have to put your ego down when a higher thing is at stake. If a society's honor is at stake, you cannot say no, hi मेरी प्रतिज्ञा. भाड़ में जाए तेरी प्रतिज्ञा.
About Bhishma Pratigya.
That becomes the ego. Okay,
So they were having 5 husbands when they couldn't take action.
So, but because the society had become impotent.
No, society was following the law.
No, not following the law. It become impotent.
No, they
ये
had-
तो लॉ
they
नहीं
had
फॉलो कर रहे थे.
promised.
बीच में पिता तो अपनी प्रतिज्ञा खुद की ईगो
They,
कर रहा था
they
ना.
all were following. Na? They believe that whatever Yudhishthir does is right. And then Yudhishthir said, okay, I'm going to bet these guys and lose in the
No, but we are
gambling.
looking at from the Vedantic point of view that dharma कोई हवा में नहीं होता. It has to be like based on some facts and धर्म की व्याख्या भी change होती है. What may be dharma for you may not be for me.
She forgot.
No?
You know?
Is it?
Who's that?
Can you...
I think they just figured it out.
They did?
This person stopped.
Yeah.
Very what you want.
No.
Maybe that lady will tell
She
her. at
cannot
the-
see in the back.
ये तो कुछ चीज रखी तो है.
She may have
कई
kept
बार
some.
होता है नहीं ध्यान.
Somebody will
No,
tell
no,
her.
but when you look
stopped
back, you
again.
see
She
the...
stopped
the car. She probably saw in her.
She stopped the car.
Because
too many
these
times,
lights
but she
में
did.
lights भी तो आ
लाइट भी
जाती
तो आ जाती है अगर ट्रंक खुला है तो.
हाँ, आगे ही है.
Really, but you
Closing.
cannot see in the rear view mirror.
All these cars
She
have
closed
these
it.
extra
Yeah,
things. Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
So anyway, now we know the definition of fearlessness, and all of us have seen the examples in real life.
Right.
That if you have true fearlessness, you can sustain. You cannot be scared of anything. Yeah.
The state where all fears end, which we know of now, is the blissful state of sleep, where we experience nothing but a homogeneous oneness. Where there is the other, there is fear. Thus, the conquest of attachment, anger, and fear is the beginning of sadhana, and they are themselves the fulfillment of sadhana as well.
So those 3 things we have to try to get rid of. Yeah.
This is accomplished not through tapas, not through fasting, not through devotion, nor through service, nor through any one of the ordinary known methods of reaching spiritual perfection. None of them can remove these fundamental insignia of ignorance in us, unless all these activities are based upon a well-acquired knowledge of the Upanishads, and hence it is said here that the great rishis are the paragons of Vedas.
So he's saying that knowing this knowledge is most important out of all. Baki sab secondary hai, the person. If you don't even know the fundamental, you're not going to get it. That's what he's saying.
The stanza thus contains in itself a very sacred and secret hint to the sadhaka that if any seeker dares walk the path of knowledge, he must first of all start his sadhana with a thorough study of the Upanishadic literature. When a seeker has understood the correct import of the Upanishads rightly and has through reflection and meditation come to conquer his inborn negativities like attachment, hatred, etc., he, to that degree, comes to gain a victory over his mind's uncontrolled imaginations. It is, in fact, the imaginations that cause our failures and all our fears. When thus we have conquered imaginations, we have conquered the mind, and at that moment of victory over the mind, the Atman is realized.
So just let's stop here for a minute. And what does he mean by imagination? Because he has elaborately discussed that in Bhagavad Gita. Imagination is, my wool gathering about something, like constantly thinking or एक राई का पहाड़ बनाने वाली बात. कुछ है नहीं उसमें दम and ये हो जाएगा. Like fear. You see, fear can have. You see, some people have like 10 different what you
possibilities.
call locks in the house, triple lock for. And एक मैंने cartoon देखा था, इतना amazing था. वो न्यूयॉर्क में cartoon था. I don't know if you have seen it. उसने ना 10 लॉक लगाए थे अपने दरवाजे पे, राइट? और चोर आ रहा था ऊपर से. जिसको आना
है वो आएगा.
I thought the cartoon was really
bank robbery one, not through the doors, through the tunnel.
Exactly, yeah. Or sometimes the chore uses, I was watching this Ramdev Baba series, and all of you should watch it. Ramdev Baba, the Untold Story, if you have Netflix. Especially you, it's about Gurukul a lot in that. Very, very.
I have.
So उसमें, how they use the police की car to transport their own stuff. He will never think कि वो तुमने उसमें छुपाया हुआ है कुछ. See how?
And there was a movie on that also. One movie where they robbed the bank through coming from up, from the roof.
Yeah, so they chores are all.
नहीं एक जोक है जो इंडिया पाकिस्तान बॉर्डर था ना, तो this guy used to come with a thela full of sand and the border, and they will inspect everything in there, and then he'll go. So after about 10 times he went, then the guy asked him, I know you're doing something illegal, but I cannot find anything. Tell me what you're doing. He said, मैं थैला चुरा के ले जा रहा हूँ.
Oh, that's a very good one. Very
That's a really
That's the thing that
Cart. He's taking the cart.
That's called Thela.
Thela.
I mean,
Yeah.
those vendors, they sell their stuff on the thela.
Yeah.
What is it called? Kela.
Thela.
It means a bag. He was transporting the bags illegally, not the bhusa in it.
No, the cart
No, the
itself.
Cart, it's a thela.
Thela is like truck.
Thela.
Thela is like the cart, a hand cart.
Yeah,
actually.
cart.
वो सोच रहा था सामान चोरी कर रहा है, पर वो एक्चुअली वो कार्ड ही चोरी कर रहा था.
I just
उसमें
wanted
सैंड डाल दिया तो उनका ध्यान तो सैंड
Sand में था, yes. Did you guys saw the movie? वो इसकी थी movie, क्या था वो? इंडिया पाकिस्तान वाले की थी. About this little girl who got lost and all that. Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Do you remember when he crossed the border through the tunnel? That scene where he came out and then he would say, "तू कहाँ से आया था?" वो मैं tunnel से आया हूँ. And then those people.
क्योंकि वो झूठ नहीं बोलता था.
झूठ नहीं बोलता था. And in the end, they gave in. It's a जा तू. Because they even gave him a chance कि भाई हम लोग 10 मिनट में आएंगे तो उसका कहना था तू भाग जाना यहाँ से. But he wanted to keep telling him the truth कि मैं ना नीचे से आया हूँ और मैं इसलिए आया हूँ. I thought that was such a good
Yeah,
point कि when you are on the path of truth,
Right.
end में आदमी पिघल ही जाएगा.
I know.
Okay, yeah, that,
Okay, so we've read that.
we were here, I think. Okay, we came all the way up to here.
In the last stanza, the Sanskrit,
In the last stanza, the sanskara
Sanskrit word.
Sanskrit word. Idam.
idam was used to indicate the pluralistic world, and we noticed how it was an artistic perfection in the philosophic literature to use that particular word. We have here another masterly dash from the pen of a genius to indicate the Atman or the self. Gaudapad is not using in his stanza the word Atman, but he uses an equally powerful and equally pregnant word with the suggestions to indicate the self. He says, "This, I am." How the word "this" means the Atman has been already discussed. We said that the Atman, being the subject, is the nearest to ourselves, and that it is the absolute "this," with reference to which there is nothing else from where we could point out to this by the pronoun that.
So what he's trying to say, this or that, the sari dunya is that. When I say this, it's pointing to the Atman. And then he has also said that body is also not me. So body also comes under that only.
That.
Yeah. So if you can, he's using the word this for the Atman because nothing can be more closer to that firstly. And then it's the ultimate this. Uske beyond kuch nahi hai. That's why he's
That's the closest to you.
closest to you.
because
So
that is
that's the whole connotation of this paragraph. Yeah.
Okay. Note that idam, this, was used to indicate the world of objects, jasmat pronoun, and I am, this, is used to indicate the world of subject, asmat.
So like English में बोलते हैं ना subject and object. The subject is the ultimate atma and object is everything else, including my body, mind, and intellect.
To realize the center of centers, the self, which is to be realized through a complete conquest over the body, mind, and intellect, is indeed an achievement which is reserved only for the highest heroes living in any generation. It needs courage, industry, and a daring thousandfold more than for winning the summits of Mount Everest. That's true. Compared with this, even the struggle required to become the king of the three worlds is described in our Shastras as nothing but a child's play. Naturally, doubt would come, especially to the skeptics, as to what is the benefit, after all, in thus winning over these mighty powers in us called the mind and intellect. This is indicated in the attributes given to the self in the stanza.
So end में बताया कि उससे क्या होगा तो okay तुमको अगर if you win over your mind and intellect and you purify them तो तुमको फायदा क्या होगा बता. So that is going to come in the last paragraph.
Atman is explained as
Prapanch.
Upasama, free from the illusions of the manifold. The goal indicated by the Upanishads is a realm wherein our tears dare not enter, nor do sobs have a chance to disturb the bliss absolute. Having rediscovered the self, the individual breaks asunder all the shackles of mortality and finitude under which he was deluding himself and suffering the agony of life. He enters into the freedom of the uncharted realms of existence absolute. This world of the self is non-dual, meaning none of the pluralistic concepts can ever exist in reality. The real is one without a second.
So he's telling you that the benefit is that कि तुमको दुख छुएगा भी नहीं. You will be always at bliss. There's no entry of that, and that's why there are those people who can handle all the worldly problems smilingly. Actually, they are established in the higher self. हम दुनिया उनको पागल समझे भले, इसको कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता पड़ेगा. But he's dancing to some other tune only. So I think
okay, the time is done here.